What's up guys, Keegan here with Jordan Distributors. Today we are going to be showing you step by step how to install our plug and play push to start conversion kit. This kit is designed to be plug and play and easy to install with common hand tools in about 1 hour. If you prefer to not install your kit yourself, any mechanic, car audio technician, or mobile automotive locksmith will be able to assist you. You can share this video with them so that they can understand the install process. I will have a list down below in the video description of the vehicles that this install guide applies to, as well as other information that you will need to reference during install. Without any further ado, let's get started. For this install, we are going to start by disconnecting the battery. Next, we will move inside the vehicle to begin the removal of the lower dash trim. We will start by removing this fuse box cover, followed by this second piece of trim. Under the second trim panel are 2 Phillips head screws. Remove these, followed by 2 more here at the bottom. With these 4 screws removed, we can now remove the lower dash panel. The clips on the front release easily, while the clips on the left side will need to be carefully pried outward like shown here. We can now unplug the connectors and remove this piece from the vehicle. Now to remove the steering column trim. There is 1 screw located here on the bottom, followed by 2 more behind the steering wheel. We will need to turn the steering wheel 90 degrees in each direction to access these screws. With these 3 screws removed from the steering column trim, we can now remove it. We have found it easiest to lift up on the top portion like so and remove this piece first. With this piece out, the lower portion can now be removed. There are a total of 5 10mm fasteners securing this lower dash plate. You may choose to leave this in place and simply work around it, but we have found it best to just remove it to make more room. We now need to remove the key cylinder housing, because in this vehicle, we will be installing the start button in the factory keyhole for a nice original look. If you would rather mount your start button somewhere else, you can skip this step. This key cylinder housing is held in place with 2 screws located on the top. These screws have no screw head to be able to turn them, so we will be using a chisel and hammer and give them a few good taps to get them to turn. They aren't held in place that tight, and removing these is actually much easier than you may expect. Please be patient. Once you hit the outer edge and get them to turn, they will come right out. It's worth noting that if you don't have a chisel, a flat screwdriver will work as well. Once the screws are loosened a few turns, they will be loose enough that we can remove them the remainder of the way by hand. There are a few more electrical connectors that we will need to unplug. And then we can lower this piece down and out. It is worth noting that if you remove the factory key cylinder to mount your start button in the factory keyhole, then you will lose the function of the steering wheel lock. It does look nice to mount the start button in the factory keyhole, but if you would like to mount it somewhere else so that you can keep the steering wheel lock, you most certainly can do so. For an example, we are going to show mounting the start button to this dash panel. Simply mark the hole, and then with a hole saw, drill the hole for your button. We have these properly sized hole saws available on our website if you would like to purchase one. Any household drill will work just fine. If you choose to do your install this way, then the process for starting the vehicle will be as follows. Simply insert the key into the ignition and turn it 1 click to unlock the steering column. Then put your foot on the brake and press the button once to start. If you choose to install your button this way, make sure that you do not, under any circumstances, remove the key from the ignition while driving. The steering column will relock. With these components removed, we can begin the install of our kit. We will begin by feeding the start button wire through the hole. We can now bend up the tabs on the back of the start button, align the button in the hole, and bend the tabs to secure the button in place. These tabs hold the button very well and will keep it from moving when you press it. We like to add a piece of tape on the back side to keep it from spinning so that the button stays aligned. Now to install the antenna. We are going to show mounting the antenna to this lower dash panel for easy access. The antenna wire is quite long, so if you would like to mount it somewhere else or even hide it for additional security, you most certainly can do so. We like to use this 3M duct tape because it holds the antenna in place very well, while at the same time being removable and doesn't leave behind any residue when removed. Next, we need to connect the orange wire from the push to start kit to the brake switch. You will need to locate the brake switch connector in your vehicle. The brake switch is located here at the top of the brake pedal. It is easiest to start at the brake pedal itself and follow it upward until you locate the brake switch. Your vehicle may have a slightly different shape or color connector than what is shown here. Please check the chart in the top of the video description to determine what color wire you need to connect to in your vehicle. We are going to take this quick connector supplied with the kit, and with a pair of needle nose pliers, clip it around this wire. All you need to do is line it up and give it a gentle squeeze with a pair of pliers until it clicks into place. We can now plug the orange wire from the push to start kit into this connector. Last but not least, we need to install the plug-and-play push-to-start main harness. This harness uses the same connector as the original ignition switch that we already removed. All we need to do is plug it in to the same connector that we unplugged from the factory ignition switch. Next, we will need to connect the black wire to ground. We recommend using this stud on the lower dash plate. Now we can plug everything in to the push-to-start module. Please make sure that the wiring for the push-to-start kit is not in a position that it will be pulled or chafed. This will ensure that no issues arise with your system. Because the steering wheel in most vehicles is able to adjust up and down, it may be best to keep all of the push-to-start kit wiring on one side of the steering column. With everything plugged in, we can now fasten the control module as well as all of the wiring neatly under the dash, reinstall the steering column trim, and lower dash panel. The install is now complete. Go ahead and reconnect the vehicle battery. Now, all you need to do is swipe one of your keys over the antenna, put your foot on the brake, press the button, and the car will start right up.